Greetings, everybody. Nice chilly morning down here in great state of Arkansas. And I say that with sarcasm. But, MAGA, what do you think? So, your Project 2025 is real. They've acknowledged it. Even though you cried it wasn't real and it wasn't going to happen. Although I gather they've renamed it. I've kind of lost the name at the moment. I don't know. Fascist regime takes over. I don't know what you want to call that book. Anyway, so they're going to do. They're looking to do away with the National Labor Board, the ACLU. They're looking at putting 25% taxes on Canada and Mexico, our two largest trading partners, by the way. Levy across the board 10% tax on China. And somehow I don't understand exactly how Trump is going to bring prices down for Americans. Groceries, prices, eggs, gas. Now, I understand how he's going to drop fuel prices, because it's really simple economics. Is you tank the economy, because everything, the tariffs and all that, will simply cause Americans to stop spending money. They'll buy the necessities. They won't buy anything else, which will hit the local manufacturing pocketbooks. It will hit the grocery stores. It'll hit just about everybody. Then we'll enter into a very deep recession. Not quite like the pandemic where we were shut down, but pretty close. Well, when that happens, nobody's driving and running around buying fuel. Well, then lo and behold, fuel prices will drop, because the oil field will be out of work again. They'll, hundreds of thousands of people will be unemployed, and they'll stop drilling. They'll cap the wells, and then they'll start probably importing more, because it's cheaper to import it than it is to drill it. And lo and behold, we'll have lower fuel prices, higher food prices, higher prices for commodities. And you'll turn around and spin this that, we have to suffer to make gains. But that's not what you've been saying, is it? You've been saying that the minute he gets into office, that prices are going to drop. We're going to be able to afford everything again. He's going to cut fuel prices in half. Y'all are about the dumbest, most ignorant, and I mean willfully ignorant portion of our population I have ever heard of or ever seen. I changed jobs. I have left the oil field, and there was a couple of reasons behind it, but one of the factors was I didn't want to take the layoff in a year or 2 years, because it's going to happen. Drilling's going to tank. I work drilling rigs, and it's going to tank. That's it. There's going to be another shutdown and a large layoff, much like there was under Trump when he made the first OPEC deal to increase production, which caused oil prices to bottom out, which caused our oil field to lay off, and there was mass unemployment in the oil field. We weren't drilling, and we were capping wells. This time it'll be because of the huge recession that hits every American pocketbook, well, except for the rich, because they don't actually pay for anything, Got to remember that. They don't spend their money. That trickle-down thing's bullshit. So, I've changed jobs into something that has to do with the national power grid, because even during a recession, even when everybody's hurting, you need electricity. So I've changed over to something that's a little bit more recession-proof. But I promise you, when it hits, I'll be all over you guys like stink on shit, reminding you as you whine and cry and scream about everything and try to deflect that somehow this is the Democrats' fault. I'll be there to remind you. Me and thousands of others who watched, waited, looked up the facts, sifted through the propaganda and the bullshit to try to inform America of what was coming. The things that you voted for. And no, we won't forget. We won't forgive.
I have someone very close to me who is in the F around and find out stage of life. This person voted for Trump and had reasons to do so. It's not my job to tell someone how to vote at all. That is why we have a vote. However, this person is now finding out that they are going to be losing their child's health care if the Medicaid gets slashed, because they live in the state of Indiana and 4 years of no health insurance for their child. And see, my immediate reaction is, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Because that's ultimately what I want to do for every child, because it's no child's fault at all. But there's nothing that I can do. Nothing that I can do to help. And I know this, and it eats me alive. It literally eats me alive. But all I can say is, please start researching. Get out there. Know what you're going to do if your child is on Medicaid and receiving those Medicaid extensions. You got to know what you're going to do. Because if you live in Indiana or one of the other 8 states that I talked about in my video, and they do decide to cut Medicaid funding, and gosh, it sure is looking like that, because the president-elect has said it, this new Doge office has said it, like it's coming. You got to know what to do, because people like me who are helpers, who are givers, who are supporters, we're not going to be able to do anything to help you. You're in the FAFO stage. And that does sadden me for your kids. I'm really sad for a lot of kids.
It is a principle that is old as time. It's basically Newton's 4th law. For every dumb action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, or a disaster that's waiting to happen. But here's the thing. Some people are out here pretending that the find out part does not apply to them. They think life is a game of Monopoly, and they just pulled a get out of consequences free card. Oh, I could text while driving, nothing gonna happen to me. They FO. I'll just ignore all the red flags in this relationship because love conquers all. They soon find out. That expiration date on the milk is just a suggestion, right? Your stomach gonna let you find out. And denial is a powerful thing. These folks will F around, trip headfirst into disaster, and be like, wow, who could have seen this coming? Everyone. Literally everyone. So my advice is, if you're going to FA, at least be honest about the FO, because Karma's got your number and she is not leaving a voicemail.
Hi, Dr. Matthew here, and this is part 2 of how Trump voters voted for themselves to get nothing. So number 1, Obamacare. So some Trump voters did not know that Obamacare is the exact same thing as the Affordable Care Act. And some of these Trump voters have the Affordable Care Act as their insurance. And again, if you were a young person who voted for Trump, guess what? If you're on your parents' insurance, Trump wants to eliminate Obamacare, aka the Affordable Care Act. And again, so say you have to go to the hospital and have $50,000 surgery and you're not on your parents' insurance, you're going to be stuck with that bill, paying it probably for the next decade or 2 of your life. So yeah, that's what you voted for. Number 2, with Project 2025, they wanted to eliminate all overtime by making the work week not 40 hours a week, but making it a work month, so you won't be getting any overtime. Also, with regulations, they want to deregulate everything so that corporations, billionaires, and millionaires can make even more money, making everything unsafe for you. So that's what you voted for. It's unfortunate. Trump supporters will get nothing. Have a great day.
So I have strong feelings about this newest story that was dropped about 6 minutes ago on Reddit on the Am I the Asshole page. Let's read it, and then I want to know your guys' thoughts. It says, wife won't have sex with me after Trump was elected. It's a short story. Even though nothing has changed in Tennessee, abortion is illegal here and we've pulled out for 12 years. Suddenly, she no longer will have sex with me. She asks that I get a vasectomy and we can resume having sex. But a big part of me feels like if I get the procedure that nothing will actually change. Am I the asshole for telling her that she's just as bad as Trump by telling me what to do with my body? Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, you are the asshole, because you having sex, you pulling out, does not affect your body in any way. If she were still to get pregnant and have any complications, then she would have some issues. She would need to go to a hospital and she would need to know that she would get the health care that she needs. Now, as someone who has had multiple miscarriages before Roe v. Wade was overturned and I lived in Texas, I have a lot of compassion and empathy for women that live in states with limited access to health care, because I landed in the hospital once and I needed that health care and I received that health care when I was in a state of shock. And I'm very grateful that I was able to get that. So not only are you the asshole, you are a very selfish one as well. So maybe take this moment and reflect on that. Go get some marriage counseling, figure out what's best for you, and either get the vasectomy or leave, because asking your wife to put herself at risk is not okay.
Well, I guess those people in Pennsylvania at U.S. Steel are starting to find out what it's like when you back Donald Trump. Yeah, he doesn't back you, and now you've effed around, and you're going to find out. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's what's going to happen to everyone. Don't feel alone. If you're a steel worker over there at U.S. Steel in Pennsylvania, don't feel alone, because you effed around and you're finding out. But so are a lot of people. And so are a lot of leaders around the world are already on guard. And China just imposed sanctions on metals going to the United States. That's a huge problem, because we're doing things with their chips. And yeah, the whole Donald Trump thing is about to become real fast. And people around the world are already getting ready. But what does that mean for you and me? That means a lot higher prices on many items, because we're going to F around and we're going to find out when we don't have willing trading partners, everything gets more expensive. But welcome to Donald Trump for the next 4 years. Just remember, this is exactly what you voted for. Oh yeah, and the recession that's coming under Donald Trump, you voted for that too.